everybody, welcome to Phil and Lemmy. I want to let you know about some things that have been going on lately and also about some things that are coming up. So on Monday, as many of you saw, we drove up to DC. On Tuesday, we had an appointment with the lead specialist at the clinic, and he asked a lot of questions, got a lot of information about my history and the symptoms that I had and the connections to where I am now at the stage at Lyme. Gave me a lot of understanding about things. He also asked a lot of questions in reference to medications, symptoms and responses, and ways that we might adjust medications as well as add or take away meds and supplements as well. He also did a physical exam in which he found all of the places on my body that hurt and then triggered all the ones that didn't hurt originally. He did find a lot of places that needed some assistance, needed some attention, and that's good. That gives us things that we can work on stabilizing. So my left shoulder seems to not have a very good range of motion. I have a lot of weakness on my left side in general. My leg, which is probably in connection to my hip and my lower back, those things seem to be really weak. Didn't have very good resistance, as well as some of the other muscles. My spleen and my liver are enlarged. That starts with an H, some H word, so look it up. We also talked about my hip, the pain that I've been having with it, the issues walking, standing, sitting, anything. And he found that my left hip, he really found it because I about jumped off the table. He pressed on a spot on my hip and was like, "Oh, you've got bursitis." And I'm like, I kind of expressed to him, that's not the pain that I normally have. I didn't even know that hurt. Kind of moving more towards like the hip. I was like, there is like major problem with my hip. Like, it doesn't go upstairs, it doesn't go downstairs, it doesn't sit, it doesn't stand, like it doesn't work, and it hurts really bad. He was like, kind of moved it and noticed that like this hip goes like this one does not. And so he was like, we need to get some imaging on it. And so we're gonna try to do some imaging, and from the imaging, we're gonna start doing physical therapy to get my body more functioning, because you gotta have your hip. He worked on my neck some, trying to figure out like where things are coming from that are causing that pain. And he kind of tested some things out and was surprised that they weren't the same as what normally they would be for someone with Lyme. What he wants to try now is to start wearing a neck brace for a few hours a day to give my neck, my ligaments, some of the nerves and stuff a break, so that maybe they won't be as inflamed. They might could heal a little bit more to help stop the residual effects of the neck pain, like massive migraines all the time, can't see, etc., causing my back to hurt and stuff. So we're gonna try doing that. So if you see me with a neck brace, I didn't get a wreck. Just so you know. He also talked to me a lot about like my chest pain and some of the stuff that I have been having go on with that in the last few months. And so we are gonna put some new practices in, try a few therapies with that as well. We talked a lot about my mental emotional response. I seem to be having a harder time with having the mental emotional responses to whatever and then coping with them. And I told him, I was like, I just feel so trapped. I feel trapped in my life. I feel trapped in everything and anything that has to do with me. And he just looked at me and he was like, well, darling, you are trapped. And I was like, oh. And he said, with a lot of understanding, you're trapped in a body that is riddled with disease, that won't let up, that is constantly inflamed, and your brain's on fire. So of course that makes sense that you're trapped. You are. It was funny because a part of me is like, ugh, but then another part of me was like, validated that that's what's going on. So that was helpful, actually. We're gonna continue to work on stabilization until we can get to the point of treatment. And we talked about treatment and we talked about the finances, and he was really impressed with how much we have raised, which is like all you guys. So thank you for supporting in all the different ways, because we don't have the full amount of the cost of the treatment. While we're working on stabilization, we're going to also be doing some fundraisers, and we have some in the works right now. There is going to be a 500 challenge coming up, so keep your ears open for that, and look out for all the announcements that should be coming soon. In March, there's going to be a benefit concert that a friend of mine is putting on. So I'm going to keep working on grants. I'm going to keep working on any ways that I can get the finances together, because the doctor expressed to me that I had one of the more severe cases of Lyme, that I had to have the IV, and it would be good for us to go ahead and get started, but understood, of course, where we're at. And so I really want to work hard towards getting this. And thank you again to anyone and everyone that's worked, contributed, more ways to support. Like, share this for other people, let them know what's going on, let them know how things are, and subscribe if you want to hear more, and leave me any comments that you have. That's always really encouraging, and I will talk to you next time.